Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the 10th lecture of this series Communication Skills ENGL 1119, and this lecture is about 7 C's or 7 principles of communication. My name is Lukman Shah. 7 C's of communication. Why it is called 7 and what it is called C? 7 because they are 7 in number, and C because each and every principle start from the C, like completeness, conciseness, consideration, concreteness, and clarity, courtesy, and correctness. And moving on to this, these are 7 principle which adds to the effectiveness of communication, and we will check it one by one. So 7 C's, starting from the first, this is called completeness. This principle of communication is very important because the message should be and must be complete in all regards. It should convey all the facts required by the audience. The sender of the message must take into consideration the receiver and should communicate all the facts and figures related to the message. Completeness. The message is complete when it contains all facts, figures, statistic, and each and everything which the reader or listeners need for the communication of that particular aspects. And if we intend to arouse or persuade the receiver for some action, if that action is taken in the right manner, then we can say that the message is complete. Communication senders need to assess their message through the eyes of the receivers to be sure that they have included all relevant elements. It is in fact the matter of not we know something. In fact, it is the matter of how we can communicate that knowledge to the other, and the knowledge in completeness, providing all the necessary information, answering all the questions asked, and giving something extra when desirable. Now, how to apply and how to be a complete or observing the principle of completeness when it comes to the communication? It is simply answering the 5 W's, that who is your receiver, for what purpose you are communicating, when, where, and why. These are very important 5 W's which will add to the completeness of any message. And then comes the conciseness. Conciseness means communicating when you want to convey in the least possible words, in the simplest, in few words. This is the communication of a lot in few words. Conciseness is a necessity for effective communication. Concise communication has following features. It is both time saving as well as cost saving. It underlines and highlights the main message. Concise communication provides short and essential message in limited words to the audience. Concise message is more appealing and comprehensible to the audience. Simplicity and brevity is the soul of wit. It is always desirable on the people who are wise that they are always economical and they are using least or minimum words when they are communicating to any person or to any institute or to any receiver. And look at this, the wordy phrases, and look at the replacement. We can replace at one word, this point in time, at this point in time. So these 5 words can be replaced. They are equivalent to the meaning of this now. So we should be concising when it comes to the wording. If this now can fulfill the purpose of the communication, instead of using these 5, we should give preference to this now, and the other word due to the fact that is equivalent to because we can replace it. And last, with regard to about, in the neighborhood of, about. So all these are wordy phrases and we can concisely using these words. How to achieve conciseness? For achieving the conciseness, you have to consider the following. Avoid wordy expression, include only relevant material, avoid unnecessary repetition. This is very important. And consideration, this is another important principle of communication. Now consideration, taking other people in your circle, in your compass. Before you start to judge me, step into my shoes and walk the life I am living. And if you get as far as I am, just maybe you will see how strong I really am. This is getting into the shoes of other. This is considering yourself in place of other. This is judging the feelings, judging the person, his circumstances, his environment or her environment, and having each and everything which is going on with him. So it is also an important principle of communication. Consideration implies this is simply stepping into the shoes of other. Then we will be able that the shoes are comfortable or they are teasing or chasing us, and how we can walk in that. So effective communication must take the audience into consideration, the audience's viewpoints, background, mindset, education level, etc. Very important. If I am delivering a lecture to a 5th or 6th grade, then this will be not a considerable or consideration message. Definitely I should adopt as per situation, as per mindset and education. When an attempt to envisage your audience, their requirements, emotions as well as problem. This is taking each and everything which is the part of the receiver. If he or she is, the receiver is feeling the emotion, the problems, the feelings, everything. Ensure that the self-respect of the audience is maintained and their emotions are not harmed. This is the self-esteem, self-respect. The ego should not be hurt of any person. That is whether you or I. 3 specific ways to indicate consideration. Focus on you instead of I. Be out of I. Be out of yourself. Be out of we. You should consider other people. Be in you, yours, they. Show audience benefit or interest of the receiver, and then emphasize positive and pleasant facts. These are the ways through which we can create this consideration in our communication. And then clarity implies emphasizing on a specific message or goal at a time rather than trying to achieve too much at once. Clarity in communication is following features. It makes understanding easier. Complete clarity of thoughts and ideas enhances the meaning of message. Clear message makes use of exact, appropriate, and concrete words. So when there is clarity, the message will be done and the purpose will be fulfilled. Accuracy is the purpose of clarity. In fact, in effective communication, the message should be very much clear so that reader can understand it easily. For example, saying this, that a lot of Pakistani are literate. Instead, we should prefer to say that the 60% of Pakistanis are literate. So the message will be clear. The first message is ambiguous. You should always choose precise words. Always choose familiar and easy words. Construct effective sentences and paragraph. In communication, always use precise words rather than longer sentences. If you have a choice between long words and shorter one, always use shorter one. Shorter one will lead to the positivity and to the fulfillment of the aim of communication. And you should try your level best to use familiar, easy words to understand so that your reader will quickly understand it. Now the concrete communication implies being particular and clear rather than fuzzy and general. Concreteness strengthens the confidence. Concrete message has following features. It's supported with the specific facts and figures. It makes use of words that are clear and that build the repetition. Concrete messages are not misinterpreted. So how we can, here is an example of use specific facts and figures, choose image building word. General, this is a general statement. He is very intelligent student of class and stood first in class. So how we can make this or make this concrete. Look at he is replaced with Ali's, very intelligent with the CGPA, and then student of the class with BSc electrical engineering and stood first. There is the session, fall session of 3 and 2003, and then session 3.95, and then 4 out of 4, and we stood first. So this is the concrete evidence of what we want to communicate, rather than he is very intelligent. And look at this concreteness. It means that message should be specific instead of general. Misunderstanding of words creates problems for both parties, sender or receiver. When you talk to your client or to any person, you should always use facts and figures instead of generic or irrelevant information. Always write on a very solid ground. It should definitely create good image as well. Now, courtesy, this is another important principle of communication. Courtesy in message implies the message should show the sender's expression as well as show respect the receiver. The sender of the message should be sincerely polite, judicious, reflective, and enthusiastic. Courteous message has following features. Courtesy implies taking into consideration both viewpoints as well as feelings of the receiver of the message. If you have your own viewpoint, you should also keep in mind the viewpoint of the receiver. The feeling, if you have ego, if you have some proud, if you have something, then the receiver definitely, he is also human being, and he will definitely have something like you. So you should also consider, this is called courtesy. Courteous message is positive and focused at the audience, not at the sender. In fact, it makes use of terms showing respect for the receiver of the message, and it is not all biased. Courtesy, knowing your audience, allow you to use statement of the courtesy. Beware of your message receiver. It is politeness that's grow out respect and concerns for other. Applying socially accepted manner is a form of courtesy. This is very important, and we should adopt it. Respect other will reciprocate it. Respect other will definitely on or get something respectful on our part. And how to generate a courteous tone? The following are suggestions for generating courteous tone. Be sincerely tactful, thoughtful, and appreciative. Use expressions that show respect for the others. Choose non-discriminatory expression. Be sincerely tactful, thoughtful, and appreciative. The few people are intentionally abrupt or blunt. These negative traits are common cause of discourtesy. We should not be abrupt or blunt in our behavior or in our answering. Difference between consideration and courtesy. Consideration, thoughtful or sympathetic regard or respect, thoughtfulness for others. They showed no consideration for his feeling. Here the feeling, the element of feeling is involved. And courtesy, excellence of manner or social behavior or polite. Here the respect, the manners are involved. A courteous, respectful or considerate act or expression. Correctness in communication implies that there are no grammatical errors in communication. The things, the spelling, the grammatical mistakes, the context, and appropriate usage of word, denotative wise and connotative wise. Correct communication has following features. The message is exact, correct, and well timed. If the communication is correct, it boosts up the confidence level. Correct message has greater impact on the audience readers. It checks for the precision and accurateness of the facts and figures used in the message. It makes use of appropriate and correct language in the message. Correctness. At the core of the correctness is proper grammar, punctuation, and spelling. The term correctness as applied to effective communication also mean three characteristics. Use the right level of language, check the accuracy of figures, facts, and words, maintain acceptable writing mechanics. Use the right level of language. There are three levels of language: formal, respected sir; informal, hi buddy, hi dude; and substandard. Definitely substandard is very low, and the next is slang or taboos. So look at substandard language. Avoid substandard language using correct words, incorrect grammar, faulty pronunciation. All suggest as inability to use good English. Some examples follow: incorrect grammar, faulty pronunciation, and isn't, and can't hardly, aim to prove. We cannot use ing after to, and using that is a substandard language, not up to the mark. In conclusion, think of how often you communicate with people during the day. You write emails, facilitate meetings, participate in conference calls, create reports, devise presentations, debate with your colleagues. The list goes on. We can spend almost our entire day communicating. So it stands to reason that communicating clearly and effectively can boost productivity. This is why the 7 C's of communication are helpful. The 7 C's provide a checklist for making sure that your meetings, emails, conference calls, reports, and presentation are well constructed and clear, so your audience get your message. And this is the end of my lecture. If you had any question, you can ask, please.